Welcome back to Creating Cooperative Kids. I'm your host, Bill Corbett. Mentoring is the act of coaching, guiding, or leading another person, and many professionals use mentors to help them achieve greatness. I personally have used mentors to help me develop myself as a speaker on radio or on the stage. But one person we may not automatically think of as using a mentor is a school-age child or a teen, especially if they are having difficulty establishing goals and meeting them. With me on the show today is Steve Cessario, founder of CT Youth Mentoring and Coaching. He is a much sought-after mentor and coach for teenagers, having 8 years of in-depth experience with young people. Stephen has been interviewed on numerous radio shows and speaks regularly for the Women's Independent Network about supporting children through divorce. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. So, I am a firm believer in mentoring.
Absolutely.
In fact, I'm writing a new book on helping people become speakers, and one of my chapters is go get a mentor. You know, one of the best ways. And I tell them, you look at people who you would like to do what they do, who are successful, and just talk to them. Mentoring doesn't have to be anything complex. And so tell us a little bit about how mentoring works with teens with your organization.
Well, it's really important, especially for teenagers. I work specifically with teenage males. And the majority of teenagers I work with, they don't have a father. And like you were saying, we need someone to role model after. You know, a lot of young men need a map to manhood. And I really guide them on how to become a better person, what challenges they're going through, and just helping them express their feelings when they don't have anybody else. They don't have anybody else that they have to express themselves with.
So how does your organization work?
A lot of parents call me, you know, I need some help, I have questions, I'm frustrated, help me out here. And I go assess the child, I work with them, I meet them, establish rapport, and get to know them, and really try and figure out how to help them.
So anybody can contact you. When we tagged you on the screen, there was information about how to get in touch with you for people who want to seek that out to get some more information. Anything particularly different about mentoring teen boys as opposed to adults?
There's some similarities and some differences, but a lot of differences is the teenagers aren't really able to express themselves sometimes fully, and the parents get frustrated and the kid gets frustrated, and I'm there to kind of mediate and also help the child effectively communicate with the parents.
You know, one thing that I think is really important about the role that you play in your organization is there's one aspect of adolescence that parents don't understand, and that is in the adolescent years, what's happening psychologically is, and I work with parents to help them understand this, the child has to shed the baby self. That's how they grow, and that's how they get to the next level. They shed the baby self. Well, guess who's attached to that baby self? The parent is. So in essence, they have to shed the parent. That's why you get the bad attitudes, you get them lipping off, the back talk, and one of the frustrations, the challenges I deal with is parents say, I have told Johnny over and over, and I'm going, you know what, Mom, forget it. He's not listening to you, because why do you think he's embarrassed to be around you? And why do you think he wants you to drop him off around the corner and not show up? Because what happens in adolescence is they're embarrassed to have parents, and they go through the space. So I can see a huge need for your organization, because they're more likely to listen to you than they would the mother.
Absolutely.
And so that comes into play, right?
Yeah, they're creating their own identity. They're trying to figure out who they are, and they're separating from their parents, and they want to do things on their own. They want to meet different people and experience different things. And being around their parents is kind of uncool, or sometimes parents just don't understand, and they want someone who's empathetic, who's non-judgmental, and will be there for them, and just someone to listen to.
And the other thing that's happening with teenage boys is because during those years they become sexually aware of the opposite sex. And guess who's a member of the opposite sex? Mom. And it's like, ew, weird, right? So you see it in public where the mom reaches out and she just wants to give him a hug, and he's like, oh, stay away from me, right? Yeah. And then parents, the moms are the first ones to say, why is he spending all his time in his room and he won't come near me, you know, because they discover, oh my gosh, my mom is a girl, you know? And it's just kind of a weird moment in life when that happens. Absolutely. So how do parents know if their teen needs a mentor?
Well, sometimes on behavioral issues, if the teen is being rebellious or is staying in the room and not coming out, or they're just having a hard time helping him open up. And or they can just simply ask them, do you really want someone else who you can relate to? And that question can help them say, yeah, I would like someone else. Or in that situation, they can give me a call and I can come in there and be the person who they can relate to.
Have you thought about taking on a female partner to mentoring girls?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, there's a future for her down the road. But right now, it's mainly just boys.
And how do you get the word out? How do parents find out about you? Because you and I met through a professional network, and I was reading your bio, and I'm like, how come I don't know about this guy, you know? I do this TV show in Connecticut, and this is really important. What do you do now to get the word out to parents?
It's a lot of parents who refer me, a lot of networking, and believe it or not, social networks really help. Parents reach out to me a lot and ask me questions, and I'm in the process of creating a blog, which I think will be really beneficial and to help me expand.
Yeah, and you know what? Now that we've met, I will look for opportunities for you to get you in front of parents. You know, because parent workshops, parent fairs, information fairs are around the state, and I'll be sure to make sure and share that information with you when I learn more about that. Conferences are another place. So, have you seen any particular unique challenges with teenagers that were kind of challenging?
A lot of teenagers think that there's only one way to success and happiness in life. And it's through school, it's going to college, getting a master's degree, PhD. When there's some similarities and some differences, but a lot of differences is the teenagers aren't really able to express themselves sometimes fully, and the parents get frustrated and the kid gets frustrated, and I'm there to kind of mediate and also help the child effectively communicate with the parents.
You know, one thing that
there are a lot of different avenues to being successful, and they don't necessarily know those successful avenues or different kinds. And until they sit down with me and we talk about their passions and which way they really would like to go and why school is kind of boring or what else can I do to be happy. So, and that really stresses them out and it overwhelms them. And the parents are like, why aren't you getting good grades? And I just kind of mediate that with them and try and help the parents understand, okay, he learns differently. And maybe we can go to a different school or try something different.
Do you, when you're working with the teen, do you do kind of like some clinical work to find out what's keeping them from moving forward? Because I know the big complaint I get is a lot of parents say he stays in his room and we never see him. He comes out for dinner and high school graduation. Mm-hmm. You know, anything with that?
You know, I don't think he's in his room all the time, 24/7. And I asked him, well, have you talked to them? And I think it's really important to create dialogue with your teenager. And a lot of parents don't. Okay, why is he acting this way? Have you asked him, what are his interests? And they might not say, I don't know. You know, I haven't talked to him. Well, why haven't you? And it's just kind of coaching the parent as well. And
one of the problems I've seen is I've seen some teens where the parent says, what are you going to be when you grow up? I don't know. Yeah. What do you mean you don't know? And before you know it, there's a break in the relationship because the parents want them to go on to be a doctor, and he just likes getting through phase 3 of the video game he's in. So the communication needs to happen more and more bonding. I always encourage parents to relax over the attitude because that kind of turns them off. But we really need to have more parents hear about what you do, and you're doing an awesome job, and I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Research has revealed that emotional trauma experienced in childhood can result in physiological problems as adults. Coming up on my next segment, we're going to hear from an expert how these negative emotional experiences can get in the way of our parenting. Stay with me through the break. We'll be right back.